I think we are live already. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Live Podcast Media for 100 days. So, finally, I am here again after a long time. Oh my god, what do I miss? So many things, including Rob Greenlee, and he is here today to help me, to support me all the way as usual, to open 100 Days Live Podcast. And I'm very happy for all of the sponsors who have been supporting us, Blueberry, Acam, and then also voice actors, Jody Krangle on Piece of Cake, and then also Bioscience Bridge, expert in you. So welcome again, and thank you so much for joining us today. If you have any question or anything, or if you say just you miss me, then I will be good. Actually, I feel really really nervous today because it's been a long time that I haven't been going live streaming, right? And then of course, Rob Greenlee, you know him, the Hall of Famers, and then also the founder of Spoken Live Media is here. And there are so many changing on social media, especially about content creation. That's why I would like to focus on the content creation on this 100 days, including how to use your content content to make money, of course, to gain profit. At the end, we need it, right?
Yeah.
To live stream, to podcast, because yeah, everything has been changing on social media, especially with AI. That's why the topic for 100 days is from creator to brand, the opportunity to stream and profit in the future of media, right? And today, the same thing also, I would like to talk about how content creation on the AI era, because there are so many changing, there are so many amazing things, there are so many exciting things, but also there are so many worrying things. And as a content creator, what do we need to do to stay in line or on the track that it will help our business, our community? And then that's why I would like to talk about it with the expert Rob Greenlee, because he is the expert in live streaming and podcasting also. So Rob, thank you so much for coming here again to help me to open 100 Days Live Podcast. I feel honored that you are here. So, how have you been? Or how are
I'm
you?
doing all right. I'm doing
So,
all right. Staying busy with things, and it's great to see you back with the live podcast event that you've done. I mean, it's an ambitious project that you have, or to do
yeah,
content
always,
for
always.
for 100 days. I don't know of too many people that are willing to take on that task.
Thank
So
you so much. Actually, this is my way also to keep me disciplined or to be online every day, because you know that I had to build my offline business also. So I was really occupied from morning to night, and then like today I come to the studio right away after the work, and then but I took the time today. I stole some time to go to the salon for hair spa and haircut. You see, I want to look good today. So
yeah, well, that's great. Yeah.
thank you. And then so how have you been in the podcasting and live streaming? Because you are still with Todd Cochrane, and I see there are a lot of changes in the live streaming and podcasting industry, especially. And then there are
Yeah.
so many content creators who would like to give up. They are not given up yet, but I feel that yeah, because of it is getting harder and harder. And then actually the content creation is getting easier, right, with AI. But then why the people choose to give up on creating content?
Well, it's so competitive now, and there's so many different ways of doing it now, and all these platforms want everybody to work directly with them, upload their content to their platform if you're going to get any kind of visibility, or you have to pay to have things boosted and to draw some attention and audience to content creation now is it's such a challenging area, and that's why we're seeing a lot of successful creators,
Mhm.
they have to have teams around them.
Mhm.
It's because they just can't do everything that needs to be done. The
Mhm.
era of a solo creator that does everything is not not always a good path right now.
Mhm.
But not everybody has the resources to invest in a team either. So,
Mhm.
it puts a lot of challenges on people to be able to manage all of the elements that it takes to be, a successful growing show right now. A lot of the technology companies are not making it easier on us. They're making it a little bit more complex. Now, AI is trying to take some of the repetitive tasks away from doing this, but it
Mhm.
doesn't really. AI is a whole nother thing that you have to learn. So, it's a whole nother thing that takes time to try different things, try and figure out what the best way to prompt it is, the best path of what it does best. There's lots of different tools now. So each one of these
Mhm.
tools kind of has its own kind of idealized use case,
Mhm.
but it's not always obvious what that use case is going into it. So you wind up having to, trial and play around and try things, and that takes a lot of time. And where it probably would have taken probably maybe less time
Mhm.
to just go into Canva or actually just write it yourself. So it's I think there's efficiencies to be had, but that's after you've gone through this learning curve to actually how to optimize and learn how to use these tools in the best way.
Yeah, but then, in my opinion, actually AI should help us, right? So why do we need the other team, the other, maybe also the outsourcing for content creation? If AI can help us, it should be easier that you can use other platform or software or
Yeah.
application to create videos and also podcasts, right? But then even many people are scared to lose
Mhm.
their job, right, as the
Yeah.
podcast editor or as a content writer, something like that, Rob. So would you please explain about it, because I'm a bit lost here that people need the team while actually the AI should
Well, I wouldn't
help them
say
a
that
lot.
they
Mm-mm,
Yeah, I wouldn't say that they have to have a team. It's
mm-mm,
just, it just it's gonna require a content creator, and that's how I'm increasingly thinking about it now. I'm
mm-mm.
not thinking about it as podcasters and
Live streamers.
you YouTubers or
Mm-mm,
live
yeah.
streamers. Those are buckets of a distribution tactic or
Mm-hmm.
strategy. Increasingly we're becoming, just content creators, right? And
Yeah.
how we distribute those is really one of the challenging aspects of it, is deciding how you're going to distribute what you're doing based
Mm-hmm.
on what you want to create. And it kind of goes both ways too. So what you create is going to dictate what kind of distribution that you're going to partake in. If you're doing vertical videos, then
Mm-hmm.
obviously that's a whole nother aspect of it. If you're doing long form widescreen content, that's a YouTube thing, but then you can cut it up and create other derivative content. And to really answer your question about why we're seeing teams is because a lot of these processes take time, and take skills that not any one person has the high level skills in all these different areas of monetization and distribution and
Mm-hmm.
content creation and hosting and and it's helpful to have people that can manage your social media for you. It's helpful for you to basically have consistency, because one of the challenges that if you're an individual creator is that you may not get to everything that needs to be done
Mm-hmm.
to be doing the strategy that you want to partake in.
Ah,
And
yeah, I get
oftentimes,
it.
yeah, oftentimes if you're an individual creator, you're probably not fully successful yet, which means that it's not really a full-time thing for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you're probably having to work another job or a part-time job on the side, so you don't have a lot of time to put to it. So, these individual creators are kind of in a bind because if they're not generating revenue, then they have to generate revenue from some other area, which takes their time away. But if they can get a little team pulled together and have it be cost effective to do this, like a shared resource type of a team, then you can kind of chip away at it and scale the ability to build on this strategy that will more likely grow an audience.
Mm-hmm. Now I
But it's
understand
hard.
that with the team we can focus on the as a head, right? For the ideas and everything, and then let the people do the details because it takes a lot of time. Also, I agree for that. To
Yeah.
repurpose content and then also maybe to post it on the social media to schedule it and then in this way how we can be on track because there are so many changing on algorithm and everything even though I don't care about such thing, right? As long as we share our values, but then the
Yeah.
people who have been monetizing with the followers with the likes and they sell their products and programs on live streaming and podcasting including on their website to link them, right? And then
Yeah.
yeah, so how can we stay in track to be updated about AI because it keeps changing and then suddenly we see on Instagram, on YouTube, and then also on Facebook that oh there are so many creative contents out there, right? And then not without our own face, maybe faceless also, but then not only faceless but then also we can already change our photo into videos or anything
Yeah.
else, right? So Rob, how can we stay in track?
Yeah, I think it's just really getting focused on what your goals are, what you want to accomplish, and why you're creating content and getting clear
Mm-hmm.
on that. I think it's very important now to have some idea of who your audience is, who you're trying to reach with your content. That's not always easy to do. I mean, it's easy to say. It's another thing to do the deep research that you need. But AI can help with this stuff a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think it can give you some guidance towards a way to think about it. It has access to data that all of us um, don't have unless we do deep research.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to dive in there and try and understand what our goals are. What's our business? What is our employment situation? A lot of people can create content as a complement to like a full-time job that they have too. I mean, a lot of companies, I think as we move into this over the next 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
I think even if you have a full-time job, I think the company that you work for, I mean, some companies don't want you to do this, but a lot of companies do. That
Mm-hmm.
customers come from personal relationships now more than brands. Now, now when I say brands, I'm talking more about like a corporate brand. Um, but increasingly, people want to trust people, right? And if that person is associated with that brand,
Mm-hmm.
then they feel like that they trust the company more. So this is kind of where this landscape is moving towards, and why social media is so important. So it's a it's turning into a clustering is where we're going to, where a particular brand has multiple social media accounts, not just one. So brands are being thought of as almost like networks now. So as you think about social media as well as media creation, podcasting, each of these brands is going to start thinking themselves increasingly as a content marketing network of sorts. And there could be a variety of different types of content that are produced from that brand
Mm-hmm.
to better support their customer base, and to market what they're doing. And this may be an opportunity for these companies to not be as concerned about advertising.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but what they're likely going to have to invest in is boosting their social media, which is kind of a form of advertising, but it does kind of shift the revenue over to a different model with these social platforms. It's not just buying ads; it's going to be boosting your social content to reach more audience, because increasingly these social platforms are holding back audience from people that are trying to do it organically without boosting. Now, obviously, it's more cost effective to have an organic reach approach to your content marketing on these social platforms or YouTube or any of them. And lots of people, really suggest, maximizing your organic reach and just be careful with your boosting, that you only boost things that you've tested on the organic side, right? So if you have seen something be successful on the organic side, you're likely to get better results on that particular piece of content in a boost
Mhm.
scenario, which is like advertising that that post or that content that has already proven itself to be kind of successful, right? That has engagement. And that's the key, is really evaluating your content based on what is getting people's attention, what is causing them to comment, what is causing them to interact with your content. And this concept applies to podcasters too. And as we think about what's going on with YouTube, a lot of the lessons that I've learned working with the YouTube platform directly apply back to podcasting. And podcasting hasn't really adopted a lot of these things quite yet. So in a lot of ways, podcasting is a little bit of a, a laggard behind what we're seeing uh, on the video side. But I think it's going to catch up. I mean, a lot of these concepts have been around radio for years. It's just that, sometimes content creators can be a little lazy about what they're doing at the beginning of their programs and not be disciplined about driving a tease or driving a perceived value to the audience right at the beginning. And that's a big thing on YouTube right now, is that you got to capture and hold that audience for the first 30 seconds. And hopefully they'll stay with you. But a lot of shows in the first 30 seconds, a video will lose half its audience in the first 30 seconds. So that's why it's so important in the very beginning of any content that you make right now, that you have those hooks and that value proposition put before your audience right at the beginning.
Yeah, how long is the, how do you call it, like the sharp hook actually? 15-second or 30-second, because there are two opinions about hook, right? It can be 15-second or thirty
Right.
second, depends on it is on
Yeah.
reel or on YouTube or on short, something like that, Rob. So
Yeah.
what do you
I
think,
tend,
like the time spent for the hook actually to attract people?
yeah, I think in audio podcasting, I think you have to do it in the first 15 to 20 seconds.
15 to
I
20
think
seconds.
on on YouTube, you probably have up
Yeah,
to 30
seconds only.
seconds
Mm-hmm.
to actually drive that hook. And if you look at a lot of the really big video podcasts on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, they will have this little video tease at the very beginning of the content that basically teases the topics, right? And it basically asks a question, and then they have a silence. It's like, this is a really important question that they've been able to identify that the audience is going to want to know the answer to. But don't give them the answer in the tease. Just tease that you have
Yeah.
to listen to be able to get the
Wanna
answer,
be rich
right?
in 5 minutes? Wanna be a billionaire in one day? Something like that.
That's right. Stay with us, and
Stay
I'll
with
tell
us.
you how to do it in these 4 steps later in the video.
Yeah,
So,
totally different with the local mindset and also the international mindset for that. Sometimes in here, we already ask the people to subscribe to blah 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 in the beginning before giving the value or before giving the content. But
yeah,
based on the live streamer and podcaster guru like you, it will be at the end. People will subscribe anyway if they stay with us, if they are interested to have us, right? And then, okay, and also, okay, a little bit. Before I forget it, back to the statement, your statement that brand is not working now. Is that the reason that one influencer now cooperate or join another influencer for the boost of their contents for more followers, because like me, to have you in here, it adds my value too, right? Because you have huge networking. Everyone knows you. You are the star. You are the top Hall of Famer. And then I'm just a small content creator. So by having you on my show, it reaches more people than I can, right? And then it will reach the people who need your help and maybe need my help, because of my small networking. But then you also help me. Even though you don't promote it on your social media, for example, if it's just a if game, but then you are here, then it will reach more people than I thought. You know what I mean, Rob? So is that true?
Yeah. Well, I think generally it's true. I think brands can benefit from, a human involvement, as like a spokesperson or someone that represents that brand or has deep knowledge about that product or service or whatever. And we're seeing this a lot on like TikTok, and we're seeing it a lot on other other social platforms that people are, there's a lot of kind of like live video e-commerce going on right now. There's platforms
Yes.
like a Whatnot, that's out there that's driving huge volumes of live streamers right now
Mhm.
that are actually doing e-commerce on their live streams and able
Yes.
to have auctions and be able to give things away and
Yeah, I
be,
watched that
you
too.
know, yeah, and sell things directly, and you can build like an online business. And there's a lot of trend reports that I've seen that are saying that those type of platforms are going to likely replace a lot of e-commerce platforms or retail in general out there, like clothing stores. I mean, Whatnot is huge with people selling clothing on 3 or 4 hour long live streams.
Yeah.
It's kind of a remarkable phenomenon, but if you have the right tools that you can engage with your audience live, and you can sell things and show them and talk about them on the screen on a vertical video. See, it's a convergence of this. It's not widescreen, it's a vertical video, which people are engaging with these e-commerce live streamers real time, right? So they're creating community, they're creating dialogue, they're creating friendships, they're creating lots of connections, and people cross promote each other. So there's a lot of lessons that can be learned from what's happening in this social e-commerce space right now that could apply to podcasting and will likely come to YouTube as well. I would not be surprised to see YouTube come out with a social kind of e-commerce type of connection on their live streaming side as a way for them to, get involved in this online retail space.
Well, and you don't have to do it yourself, right? Like 2 years ago, on the local market here, on the social media, there are so many advertisements for the agents who offer that kind of service, to go live streaming to sell your service, and then also to create your
Yep.
content to go live streaming. It's
Well,
not
sell
only, yeah,
clothes and
yeah, yeah,
shoes and
yeah,
right.
not only
Right.
that, including in tourism and everything. So they go to the tourism object, take the video, and then create content to live stream also. So, and I haven't asked about the prices yet, because I would like to know their services first last 2 days. So I'm going to have the pricing soon. But that is really interesting. Actually, there is a kind of opportunities also. We don't need to be, we don't need to go live streaming on our own platform, but we can work for someone else, right? For other brands also. So,
Well, you can build your own kind of small company
mm-mm.
that has products that you can put in the store that's available, that's integrated into their platform. It's a
Yes,
full e-commerce store,
that's true.
has transaction ability, has incentive programs for people to buy things. The platform will give new customers like $15 that they can use right out of the gate
On
to get
Etsy and
people.
everything. Yeah, that's
Right,
true.
right.
That's true.
so that's coming, and that's part of why I have this thought around, thinking of yourself as just a podcaster
Mm-hmm.
or as a YouTuber is not probably the right way to think about the content creator space right now, because
Why is that?
it can involve so many different options on how
Mm-hmm.
you can do this now. So that's why I use this term. We're creators now. We're not just podcasters or live streamers
Mm-hmm.
or
YouTuber.
we're right. We're creators, and how and where we create
Mm-hmm.
is very wide now. There's lots of choices, lots of directions to go, and lots of different ways to do it now. And just calling myself a podcaster feels a little narrow to me
Mm-hmm.
right now, unless the term podcast means all those things, which which some people could take that as true, that that's why we're seeing um, content on YouTube be called a podcast, or content on Spotify video as a podcast, when it's historically not been a podcast, but people are perceiving it as a podcast. Does that mean that a live stream on Whatnot is a podcast?
Mm-hmm.
These are the questions, and if we don't think of it that way, then we have to think about it from a perspective of, well, we're just creators that are building an online business.
So, yeah, and then may I ask you something? This role.
Yeah.
Where are you going to go? Are you going to join a brand again? Not only on podcasting, but all of the content creation, because you are also a consultant for content creation now, not only podcasting, I see. So you have the content creators to build their brand also and build their company. Even you become the co-founder of some companies also. So this, where are you going to go after this?
Well, my career and my path over the 20 years I've been doing this
Mm-hmm.
has varied wildly. I've been involved in all sorts of, from working at Microsoft to working at Podcast One to working at a bunch of podcast hosting companies over the years. And, I do have a lot of experience with podcast hosting. So it could be that, I wind up doing something more again. I've gotten pulled into working on podcasting networks to help support them on the e-commerce side and the advertising side. Um, but you know, I'm not really sure where my career goes. I'm not a 23-year-old or 25-year-old anymore, so I can certainly
You
do a lot of
are.
different things. But I think that our society looks at people that are older, and there's less opportunities. So oftentimes you have to create your own. So, and that's what I've been doing over the last
Mhm.
year or so. Yeah.
Will there be more surprises after this? Because it's
Oh, of
totally
course.
different than what you have. Oh my god.
Uh, no,
I'm looking forward for
no,
it.
I'm not done
Cannot
yet.
wait. Cannot wait
Yeah.
for that. Because you have new podcast also with the content creator. I forget his name, but you have already started it. But I don't
Well,
know when
yeah, I
you are
haven't
going
started
to
the
open it.
yeah, I haven't started the new show that I'm doing. It's
Mhm.
called Spoken Human,
Mhm.
but I have been out kind of promoting it
Mhm.
already, and kind of teasing about it, that it's my next larger project that I'm gonna take on. And I've been doing a lot of other types of shows on YouTube and in
Mhm.
podcasting, and doing the new media show with Todd for like 15 years now. So I think we're at a point right now where the industry is in a significant shift, and I have to shift as well, because that's just what I've always done in this medium, and I'm certainly capable of doing it, and certainly
Mhm.
excited to shift into the future with AI, and where that is pushing us towards, with a recognition that humans are very important in this as well. And I think there's a lot of fear out there around where AI is going to take us all, and is it going to eliminate a lot of um, employment opportunities for people? And I think to some degree that's going to be the case, but it's also going to create a bunch of new opportunities for people. And so that's where it gets into this whole spoken human is how do we as humans interface with AI, and what's the opportunity there, from a psychological perspective and also from a communication layer. Is it, do we need to incorporate AI into a lot of things that we do in our lives to make ourselves more efficient and maybe do some of that drudgery that we all have to do every day that's repetitive. And I think many of us will have robots in the future that will
We
mow our
have
lawn and
already not in the future. It has started already in some countries,
oh, I
right?
know,
Even
it's,
though
well, I
not
mean, it's,
not for mowing the lawn, but for cooking and then for taxi and everything. But Rob,
yeah.
the secret question: does it mean that are you going to sacrifice new media so for that for the new steps ahead?
Oh, ask the question again. I didn't quite hear it.
Does it mean that you are going to sacrifice new media so for all of your step ahead?
Oh, you mean the new media show? Is that what you're
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah. Are you going to sacrifice it? Are you going to leave it or are you going to stay? Oh my goodness.
I don't know yet. I think it's something. It just depends on what my time availability is, and how relevant that show is to the future of what is needed out there in the space. You know, I started a radio show back in 1999 about the World Wide Web and the internet, and
Mhm.
that was an important time back then. And doing a show that helps people understand what changes are coming was the purpose of that show. And so that's why I'm doing this new show, is that people need to understand how they can take their humanness and still carve out a place of meaning in the world for themselves and for others, and maybe, you know, instead of being overrun by AI, is, you know, turn AI into a tool and a way to be a better human.
Yeah, but we don't want you to leave that. So we don't want you to leave the new media show. But what I mean is like last month, because Todd mentioned that some people already applied to replace you. I was really shocked,
Oh,
you know.
right.
No, no, they
That's all right
surprised,
though.
but so that's not nice. I mean, you have been together for so many years, and then it won't be nice to see you separate, you know, both of you. So, and then I still need you both to support Live Podcast Media, of course, in every way. So,
Yeah.
yeah, for the content creators, not only what we have talked about, right? It will be very challenging ahead, but then you try to assure us that everything is gonna be okay because there are so many ways that we can do also to not only to survive but also
Yeah.
thriving in the media branding. And then what are the steps that we need to do and not do something like that? Do you have any tips for us for it to start again? Because yeah, of course we don't want the audience or the content creators or the people who would like to start creating content for their brand or for their community being confused only because of the AI, right?
Yeah, I think all of us have to get really centered, and this is what I'm working on myself personally, is to
Oh.
get centered and focused about what my purpose is and what my meaning is going forward. How I can just live as good a life as I can, and help others. And really, my whole podcasting career has been really about helping others. And so, that's not always an easy path to go down because it does uh, require at times
Mhm.
you know giving yourself away for non-compensation or whatever to help people, to elevate people, and not everything that you will do in your life you're going to be able to monetize. Now, granted, there's a lot of people out there that have set their sights and their whole life and their careers around, I'm not going to do anything unless it makes money for me, right? And
Mm.
that's a very kind of a superficial way of looking at it. Now, granted, there are people out there that have been successful taking that approach,
Mhm.
but I'm not sure that's what the future world is going to expect of people. I think all of us need to be better and more compassionate humans towards each other and be supportive of each other. It may come to a point where we don't really have an employment path in front of us
Mhm.
anymore. So what we have to do is carve out something that is uniquely human that we
Mhm.
can do to contribute to the world that has value. So, working on those skills and your ability to help others and to communicate and do really kind of, I'm hearing a lot of people talking about, well, basic skills is going to become important again, like
Mhm.
your ability to to repair things, or plumbers are going to be in
Yes,
high
I
demand in the
heard that.
future, and electricians, and
Mhm.
so you're getting back to very basic
Basic.
skills, right?
Because the
That
modern one has been taken care by the robots.
Yeah, yeah, and all those that built a career around technology are going to
Mhm.
be replaced. So, I think a lot of people thought that if they built a career around technology, that they were going to be safe. But a lot of ways, technology is going to replace a lot of people,
Yeah.
and it's already starting to happen. So
Yeah,
you
it
have to
is
be
scary
careful on that.
though to see something like that. Even though here there is a rule that company only allowed to have some percentage of the modern technology such as robot, because they still need to absorb the human resources, right? And then, but it's quite difficult also. Then sometimes I don't want to go to the local stores only because the hosts are not friendly or something like that. The same with the online world, right? If the host is not good enough, and then we turn to the other podcast that maybe is more fun, maybe is more friendly to us for the service and after service also after buying their products or programs. Because in the
Hmm.
past there are so many talk or complaints also if we buy a course and then the service after that and the codes or the hosts are not good enough, you know what I mean, like it is just wasting money to buy online product or digital products, right? But today there are so many ways for the people, even they give the tips and then also the service on live streaming. It is not only to
Yeah.
explain about the products but how to use the products and how it becomes useful for us, especially like, so it's not only giving the workbook or playbook but also the examples how to use it. What about us,
Yeah.
the content creators for live streaming and podcasting? Do we need to do that also?
Yeah, I think you have to build kind of a more comprehensive business around what you're doing is the
Mhm.
ideal way of doing it. I mean, you know, I I think it's going to be increasingly difficult for people to have employment with an employer
Mhm.
in the future, and that's why we're seeing just an explosion right now of
Mhm.
people creating their own small companies, and trying to make income from doing a whole bunch of different things. And you're seeing this on
Mhm.
on YouTube. There's people creating YouTube channels about how to make money, right, in this
Mhm.
new digital age, from just like what you were saying about digital
Yeah.
products to e-commerce, and like I was just mentioning about the Whatnot platform. People are creating retail
Mhm.
businesses on those platforms, and I do think that fewer and fewer people are going to be employed and a 40-hour a week job in the future. I mean, I think it's already happening. I mean, I see it all around
Mm,
me on LinkedIn. Everybody's trying to pitch everybody around
that's true.
some sort of a service, right, that they can offer to you. And the only thing that I see on that is that at some point, if everybody is pitching everybody about services,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it just, who's actually making any money if they're actually trying to get money from other people that are not making any money. So it's a challenging environment right now, but it's a shift that's happening, not unlike what happened in the early years of the internet, where
Mm-hmm.
people shifted their careers away from
Mm-hmm.
more traditional employment type of jobs and
Mm-hmm.
roles. It's just like people that work on taxes here in the U.S. for the IRS. Those people are going to be ultimately replaced by AI. It's going to be possible for AI to create your tax return for you in 5 minutes. You won't need a tax accountant to do that for you, or a lawyer to come up with a legal document for you. It'll just, you know, you just ask it, well, I want a LLC legal document, and it'll print it out for you right there. So it's going to disrupt a lot of existing services businesses as well, that have been based on high skill type of employment, and that's one of the challenges.
This is getting interesting because there are some gurus who still teach on their coaching program or on their social media that we have to build relationship first. Well, actually, as a business owner, we need to sell fast also. It takes time to build relationship. Yes, if they buy our products. If not, then how it will be, right? And then also,
Yeah,
if you build a relationship, at the end you become friends, and as friends, usually you are reluctant to buy something from your friend, right? So sometimes cold email works better, the advertisement works better than building the
yeah.
relationship. So what is your opinion about that? Because you mentioned that it is also selling fast, not only building the relationship first, because people offer to the other people, like you mentioned LinkedIn, but actually Instagram is worse for me. There are so many offers on Instagram for the
Right.
cold pitching like that.
Yeah, I think it's more about it's going to be more about our reputation,
Ah.
is what's going to drive this. It's not so much personal relationships that's going to drive business. It's more about your credibility and your
Mhm.
um, your reputation, your trust level, things like that. What other people have said about you and what you've done. People are really, really focused on, what have you accomplished, right? What are your successes that can guarantee me success, right?
Mhm.
By working with you. And that is kind of in the era right now that we're in. And it's really foundational to this concept of trust. Um, do people trust you as a provider of some service or a product?
Mhm.
Um, and at the end of the day, that's what's going to drive this this business that you want to create online. Is, do they trust you? Do you deliver what you say that you're going to do? And because there's so many scammers out there now,
That's
so
true.
you're really trying to juggle and to put forth the best moral and ethical business practices, is I think what's going to differentiate people, because there's so many people out there just trying to scam people now.
Mhm.
Um, that and that's a shortcut. It's not doing the difficult work, and
Mhm.
it's not building on top of success, and it requires really hard work. And a lot of people just want to get rich quick, and
Mm.
not have to actually work that hard for it. But I
Like
think we're
me,
coming into
if I could, I want to be rich fast too, so I can come there in
well,
January
everybody
for
wants to
live
get rich
podcast.
fast, but it's probably not going to sustain itself in the long run,
That's
because
true.
what you're going to wind up having to do is people are going to be dissatisfied, and it's going to fall apart. and that's where we kind of get into this reputation building and the trust building, because so much in our world now is just not trustworthy anymore. All of us have lost a
That's
certain amount of
true.
trust in
Even on the
institutions
offline
and
business
people.
that I built, also very difficult to trust what is it, the staff, something like that. But in that kind
Yeah.
of perspective, Rob. So what kind of content are that are actually profitable? So what kind of content that we should create to make profit or to be seen as we are trustworthy and then not doing scam? Because maybe people see us for the first time to build that kind of image, and then also as you mentioned before, like we don't only build relationship but also the image that we are trustworthy and professional for our service or products or programs that we offer
Yeah.
virtually.
Yeah, I think it's demonstrated. I think you have to put it out in everything that you do, and you have to, be
True.
seen as someone that cares about quality and cares about outcomes for other people, not just yourself, and to do what you say and say what you're going to do and follow through with it. It's really important now more than ever, and I think a lot of people fall flat on it because it's hard. It's not
Mhm.
easy to make promises and be able to follow through and deliver on it, because people are attracted now more than ever to people that are successful, people that are able to
That's true.
deliver
That's
results,
true.
right?
If you take the photo on the private jet or something, it will boost your social media more than if
Right,
just
right. Yeah,
just
but you just
staying.
rented the jet, and
That's true.
all the people
Not
on the jet
everyone
with
has
you
the
are
private
all
jet. That's
paid
true.
actors. Right, right. So you can astroturf
Mm-mm.
your image out there, but it's probably not going to hold water long term because it's
Mm-mm.
not real.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But it is not boosting your YouTube only because you are driving your Tesla, right? So
Well, the
it
problem with
it should be with
doing
Lamborghini or like Ferrari or something, or not with Tesla.
yeah, yeah, the problem with doing content about Tesla is the fact that
Mm,
it's Tesla's got a little bit of a black eye over the last 6
mhm.
months.
That's true.
So
That's
people
true.
aren't as interested in it. It's still as relevant of a company as ever. It's just that
Mhm.
people have a perception, right?
That's true.
That's been a little negative lately. Yeah.
And I cannot talk about it here because it relates with the politics, not only business. And then, in the future, what will happen in the world of content creation? Actually, especially in the social media, it's not only on the media on our own website, but generally in the social media like LinkedIn and also Facebook, Instagram, maybe Twitter. I am not sure that Twitter is something right now. I haven't
Or
heard
X.
so much about it. Yeah, X. Actually, X.
Yeah.
That's true. Sorry. See, I miss a lot of things, and then
Oh,
also but
it's
TikTok
still
also, right?
yeah, it's still very relevant out there.
Mhm.
I think it's got its own AI integration into it now with Grok, and
Okay.
it's a very powerful AI. Grok now is in my Tesla, so
Mhm.
it's accessible to me at all times in my Tesla. All I have to do is ask it questions, and so it's an important platform. I think that there's a lot of discourse over there that's
Mhm.
controversial. There's a lot of you know, things that are probably could happen. There's a lot of rumors now about Netflix getting
Mhm.
involved in being a content publishing platform for um, creators
Mhm.
as well, not unlike like a YouTube.
Mhm.
And if we can envision what a Netflix looks like to some degree, that's a little bit more like YouTube. And then also, Spotify wants to be a lot like YouTube as well.
Mhm.
so, and those platforms are are replacing traditional legacy media.
I'm suspicious that you are going to join a company after this, really. But again, I'm
It's
I'm looking forward for your surprise. It must be a sweet surprise after this.
well, I hope it's an exciting project that that I can get involved in. I am working on one right
Fingers
now
crossed.
that, yeah, right. But there could be more coming. Yeah.
Hmm. Will you give us the secret a little bit?
I can't give everything. Right. Yeah.
No,
So,
I mean what
you know,
company you are going to join in after this. Oh my god, it will be great, I believe.
well, I just want to have an impact as I look to the
You too.
future. You know, I've worked on, some fun platforms in the past that were, helping creators
Mhm.
and being successful. But we are in a different era now. We're in the professionalization of the content creator economy now, because podcasting and new media and YouTube and Netflix and all those are the media now. They have taken the mantle away from legacy traditional media,
Mhm.
um, and and that is a big responsibility, and it's going to drive different types of expectations of those platforms too, around content quality, and the diversity of content is going to be in those as well, which wasn't in the traditional media.
Mhm.
So it's going to be different, but it's also going to be highly competitive too.
Mhm. But you have been giving a lot of impact already. What kind of impact you are expecting to give more? I think it will
Yeah, I think
be
this AI with humans,
ah.
will be where I'm pointing to more in the future, because I think it's
Mhm.
going to increasingly become a heightened topic, not
Mhm.
unlike what I did with the show, Trust Factor, because
Mhm.
I saw i- a couple of years ago that trust was the number one issue, and I would say it still is.
Mhm.
Um, Really, it's probably at the forefront of what's driving a lot of things in our society and our culture today globally,
Mhm.
is this trust element that people can't trust each other anymore. And those that can foster trust are going to have an advantage.
Mhm. I understand, but then also it's like how do you call it? On the social media platform, right? There are so many changes, just like YouTube. That already changed the way to monetize also, right? Just like the for the AI or repeat contents are not going to have the monetization, oh my god, something like that, Rob. So
Yeah.
how can we keep up with such thing? Still last year people, I want to be a YouTuber, I want to be YouTuber, but after seeing the reality now it is less, and then podcasts come again to the surface that people would like to be podcasters, because no podcast is not only for audio but also video, right? So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think we've seen the full rollout of video in podcasting. Again, I
mhm.
think it's rolling out. I think they talk about Netflix
Mhm.
is another inflection point. But you have to
Mhm.
look at Amazon Prime, and you have to look
Mhm.
at some of these other platforms like a Roku, or those
Yeah,
type of
Roku.
platforms are going to play a role in this too. So, people are consuming video podcasts on their televisions in their living room, which is a fairly recent phenomenon. I mean, it's been going on for a long time,
Mhm.
but it's reached a high level now. People are cutting the cable. People are not subscribing to cable television as much.
Mhm.
It's a generational shift that's happening, and people are going to start, leaning forward a little bit more with their control of their content experiences. Right? It's not just changing a channel between 100 channels. It's going to be changing the channel amongst a million channels, but it's
Mm-hmm.
also going to be very algorithm algorithmically driven.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's the platform's going to learn what you like to watch, and it's going to make
Okay.
better suggestions around the personalization of what you may be wanting to watch. I still think that the YouTube platform is still a little bit rudimentary on its recommendations and its algorithm and how it understands its users, but I think it's continuing to get better. But
That's true, but it
you know,
will limit the reach for the people who haven't been you know browsing for
that's the
certain
challenge.
topics, right?
Right.
Oh.
Right, as a content creator, you're being deeply evaluated
Mm-hmm.
by the data inputs that come from the content
The
that you're
users,
publishing to
yes.
the platform. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Your thumbnail, your description, your titling, how long someone, watches the video, after they've clicked on the thumbnail, is all being tracked and evaluated, and what's the percentage of click versus the impression of your thumbnail, which is your basically your billboard or your marketing of the content. Um, what's that conversion ratio, and then what's the conversion ratio in how long they actually watch. So, you know, this level of data analysis hasn't really never really been fully explored on the podcasting side, on the audio
That's true.
podcasting side, but I think it's coming.
And then what happened to Spotify? Here is very popular
That's that's
because of
that's where it's
the
coming.
song. Yeah, on the Spotify also because it seems that here is on not for podcasting but for the music, especially to play, not wasting a lot of data like YouTube or consume a lot of data like YouTube, and then also free until cheap subscription for the songs, but not so much about podcasting.
Yeah, and I think we're also seeing that the advertising market is struggling right now to some degree
Mm-hmm.
as these subscription prioritized platforms like Spotify and YouTube, you can subscribe and not get the advertising. And we're
Ah,
increasingly
okay.
seeing people making that choice.
Mm-hmm. I understand
So,
now. So, oh my God, it's been 1 hour already, and
yeah.
already midnight. Cinderella has to go home, or missing her shoes, her sports shoes, running home now, Rob. So,
Yeah, it's your
anything you would like
first
to
day
add?
of,
Yeah, this is the
yeah.
first day, but I'm very happy that you are here, so I'm safe because tomorrow I'm going to share more about content creations. And if you would like to be the guest speaker on live podcast media or 100 days live podcast, please do. We have the link already on the website and then also on the social media. We are live streaming on Facebook, but and also YouTube. Unfortunately, I couldn't live stream on the LinkedIn today, but we are on Instagram also. And then on Facebook, I check it is only for friends, so I need to change the setting on Facebook after this. Rob, it's been
Okay.
an honor again. Like I mentioned before, that you are here to make me feel safe. I'm very nervous for the first day, actually, but I hope that I
Yeah.
do well.
Yeah, I think you did fine. So it was
Thank
good.
you so much for sharing all of the updates that I haven't been following because of my daily tasks, working my ass off from morning to night. So I need to survive and thriving. But I believe that I will be much more better after this. I have a better schedule also. And yes,
Yeah.
again, thank you so much for being here, and I'm looking forward for your good news, beautiful surprises that are coming. And then, how can the people contact you easily after this?
You can send me an email if you want. It's just robgreenlee@gmail.com, or you can go to robgreenlee, that's two E's on the end, .com. I have a website too. And then if you wanted to go see a podcast network that I've been working on. It's kind of a side project is called the
Yeah, I
doornetwork.com.
don't know.
So you can check that out, and you can always go to newmediashow.com too if you wanted to catch the show that I do with Todd Cochran. I think this past week, this past Wednesday with
Mhm.
Todd was a good episode. We talked about some really important things in the new media and podcasting space. Yeah,
Yeah, no more fight. I mean, it's
no
more
more
calm now.
fights.
Not like
Right.
cats and dogs fighting each other, something like that. So
Yeah.
again, thank you so much, Rob. And you can reach me out on social media, live podcast media, on LinkedIn, YouTube, and also Instagram, Facebook. But if you would like to write me, you can write me to Sonya at livepodcastmedia.com. And I love you all. See you again tomorrow. Again, Rob, thank you so much. And all of the
Okay. Thank
sponsors
you.
who have been here supporting us all the way from the very beginning. I started live streaming and mentioned my big dreams on live streaming and podcasting, especially eCam, and then also bioscience breeds experts in you, blueberry of course, and then piece of cake voiceovers and focus. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you tomorrow. If you have any question, please mention it on the comments on the social media, and you can reach me out also. Again,